Okay, I'm Courtney Patton. Imagine staying on school grounds for 14 hours, or spending 8 hours in class just to get on a bus and go to another school for 5 hours. What if you had to go to school on a Saturday? Sounds awful, doesn't it? Well, it wasn't for me. This extra time was spent doing something I love, which you all probably have experienced the same thing. Mine was softball and archery. So these two sports have had a huge impact in my life, some negative and some positive. There are many disadvantages and advantages to being a student athlete. One disadvantage would be exhaustion. Students spend 7 hours in class just to go to a 3 to 4 hour practice, maybe longer, or go to another school just to play a game and get home at 11 or 12 depending on travel time. Then they have to go home, balance homework, school projects, and other school issues. That puts them later going to bed and kind of gives them issues during class, such as falling asleep or just zoning off, things like that. Another issue is injury. I'm sure any of you who have played sports have probably had some sort of injury. One injury that I know is very prominent in sports is overuse syndrome. So Dr. Ben Kibler with Lexington Shoulder Clinic, he's an orthosurgeon, he did a research on overuse syndrome. And he found that it leads to injuries that also affects the development of students. He recommends rest and PT for this. He just happened to also be my doctor when I was diagnosed with the same thing. This injury led to worse injuries. I ended up getting a tear in my shoulder, which led to shortening my career in my sport. So, some reasons of injury is inexperience, lack of development, or even just accident. Things just happen. Injuries go from minor, such as sprained ankle, pulled muscle, to something major, such as concussions, brain damage, or even death. According to the National Athletic Trainer Association, 90% of student athletes have reported some kind of sport injury. Injuries can have little effect on someone's life, or it can have a major effect. Now, there are also positives of sports. There are characteristics that you can use on and off the field, such as discipline. So students have to be disciplined to keep themselves in shape and push themselves to get better at what they want to accomplish. Teamwork is another big one that I feel is very important off the field. Sports teach you how to work together to just perform and to succeed, which is very important in almost any profession you go into. There's also motivation. So they're motivated in more than one way. They're motivated to get better, to succeed in the sport, but they're also motivated in school and just in life in general. So they have to keep their grades up to be able to play. They have to have good attendance to be able to play and good behavior. Now, one that's made a big impact in my life is friendship. So these girls right here who I played with since I was, some of them even like 6 years old. And most of them I still have contact with. I can say but a lot of them are my best friends, and I don't think that's ever going to change. Another benefit is health. So sports, it gets students active, so it increases exercise, which decreases obesity. A lot of coaches, they teach their students how to be healthy eaters too. Some of them don't, but some do. And if students are lucky enough to have that, then they can enhance their nutrition and their diet. It can also encourage other students to be active. So if one student is talking to their peer about how they love their sport and how it's fun and all that stuff, then they can encourage other students to be in the sport. I hope this has helped you come to your own conclusion on whether or not sports are good for students. Like everything, it has its pros and cons.
Okay. Jackson.
How did you get into softball?
When I was younger, I was probably old enough to play t-ball. I think I just saw softball on the screen, and I told my parents what I wanted to do, and they signed me up, and I've loved it ever since.